The truth of the matter is that the people that are going to get us into this conflict, that have been desperate to get us into this conflict for years, are going to see none of the consequences of it. Right. And that's very, very important for people to understand. The people that have destroyed or accelerated the destruction of our economy, they don't see the consequences of it. There was people at the country club. I was pitching a movie. This guy comes by and he's like, the shops are always full. It's a 2-hour wait for me to get into any of the restaurants in Boca. I don't know what everybody's complaining about. I'm like, man, how long has it been since you've bought your own groceries, dude? They have none of the consequences. It won't be their kids out in the fields. It won't be them. Right. So technology does need to increase, but poverty today would have been the lifestyle of the impoverished in America today would have been the lifestyle of the monarchs in the 19th century. So things are advancing. It's just that these people, we're useless eaters to them. It's not advancing fast enough for them. So they're going to cause this death and destruction.
And if it does advance, they're going to weaponize it and use it against us in so many awful and cruel ways.
Correct.
So I think that's also another assessment here that is important, because they're the ones controlling this new technology. They're the ones inventing the artificial intelligence, and they're going to wield it for their own personal benefit. There's probably a lot of advanced healthcare that is still being denied to the general public, not just because of profit reasons, but because people are like, why should I share this? This is mine.
Gatekeeping.
Exactly. So there's a lot of technology. There's a lot of things that could help humanity that are deliberately being suppressed by the central controllers, by the establishment, by the government. And that to me is just absolutely cruel and evil.
Well, to that point, if you've read some of the actual things from the World Economic Forum, if you've taken the time to read, first of all, everything Klaus Schwab writes is at a third grade reading level. He's not a remarkable intellect here. But he talks about that they are on the precipice, and Yuval Nori,
Yuval Harari,
that evil dude. They're on the precipice of what they believe to be immortality.
Yeah.
So
Kurzweil too. Yeah.
Everything that they're talking about, they have this impending internalized dread that us mere mortals are going to ruin this world for them. We're going to ruin the world. We're going to take up their resources, save the protein for them, save the earth for them, because they are going to be here forever. This is their Elysium.
Jared Kushner even talked about how he is planning on living forever, how he's not drinking alcohol, and he's kind of taking care of his health.
It was what you guys are talking about. It's not an exaggeration. I've got Ray Kurzweil, who I think he's the head of technology at Alphabet or something. He's one of the top guys, and he's also saying by 2029 we're going to reach longevity escape velocity, which is every year that passes, your lifespan will increase by a year.
Yeah, but here it is. Is this like a transhumanism thing where you upload yourself, or is it literally I will reach immortality on planet Earth?
I think it could be a combination of the two.
Well, with stem cell technology and telomere lengthening technology, the possibilities of living forever could legitimately happen, especially when you look at a lot of these elites that are literally hiring blood boys. And they already do this in Mexico. And the man that's spending, what is his name? He's spending millions of dollars on longevity.
Yeah.
He does that with his own son. We have the article here pulled up here by the New York Post that reads, immortality is attainable by 2030. Google scientist, futurist Ray Kurzweil predicts the option of living forever will be achieved by 2030. This is a real thing.
Big problem with this is immortality is different than having a longer lifespan. So having a 10,000 year lifespan is not the same as a bullet can still kill the guy. So what I'm concerned with is the fear, the obsession with staying alive. I'm not advocating death. I think living is the best, but fear, if they're living 100,000 years where they're don't die, and that's all they're thinking about is keep the body alive, that kind of fear state can produce this centrally planned authoritarianism where it's we don't want that guy to step out of line. Don't let that thing mess anything up. We need to
Yeah, you just described COVID.
But what Kurzweil's talking about is using advanced technology and microscopic robots that will be inside of you that will be fending off aging and illness.
And there's stuff to that, like nanobots, yeah. Mm-hmm. Graphene nanobots, self-assembling nanobots, things like that can transport medicine through your system to where it needs to go.
And there's theories that already we're filled with nanobots, and those nanobots could be used to, of course, increase your health, but they could also be used to decrease your health. So there's some theorists out there that believe nanobots are already out there.
You could hack the nanobots?
And this is technology that will be used for good and evil. And just like we see those kind of drones in Ukraine go after all those young servicemen, That's going to be happening on a micro level inside of your blood with these little tiny robots that get into your orifices as you're sleeping. Clints are going to be wide open. They get in there, and then they're just going to wreak havoc and absolutely slowly destroy you. So what you just brought up does make sense, because if people are planning on living forever, they got to get rid of a significant portion of the population in order to do that. And then once they reach singularity, once the AI kind of takes over, once they upload their kind of consciousness, we're going to be living in a new age of superhuman that they don't want everyone achieving, that people are going to obviously not be happy about, since we're going to have the superhumans and everyone else. So I think it's part of the course to say we're just going to wipe everyone out.
Yeah, but the immortal elites need to keep some people around to clean up their toilets. They're not getting down on their hands and knees and scrubbing up.
Yeah, who's going to clean Kelly Osbourne's toilet? Yeah, right.
All
right.
You think Obama's going to be making his own mac and cheese? I don't think so. He's going to have people for that.
Yeah. He has a special chef that
kayaks
and really loves water sports. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. For people that are wondering, like, there's an article from 3 weeks ago. Researchers create self-assembling nano devices that move and change shape on demand. They're doing that at Harvard. A lot of work's being done at Harvard.
I had a friend of mine
from 2010
worked at the DOD, said that they were doing some super soldier stuff, and said that they basically kind of think they've figured out aging, and it's just your cells replicating. And it's like when you have a printer and you're running low on ink, that's what aging is. The cells replicate, but they replicate less and less and less.
Yeah,
and they can reverse that now.
There's when the cells divide, if they don't have enough energy. So what's happening is your body's producing these proteins called sirtuins, and some of them measure the energy in the mitochondria. So as long as you have enough proteins that are measuring the energy, when the cell divides, both of the new cells are fine. They have enough energy. But if these proteins degrade, they get misinformation on the energy readouts. The cells divide. They don't have enough energy. They clip off the chromosomes, the tips, and that's aging. So they put this precursor NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide, which can produce NAD+, which is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, which causes these proteins to bloom inside your system. And so they're like, they want to give, but it still requires on like drugs, on like taking NAD or NMN to kind of kick. And it's also like resveratrol is involved in it. It kind of uses the fuel.
So nicotine and protein?
It's nicotinamide.
So the Jersey Shore's had it right this whole time? Let's go,
I'm not
boys.
Sure. I don't think smoking will get you halfway there. I don't know how that works.
Tell me beer is in there too, and I'm going to live. I'm going to be living forever.
That's a fluoride beverage that calcifies your pineal gland. You want to stay away from.
You do want to lower your blood. Well, people that do it want to lower their blood pressure, so they'll use Burberry, and I don't know if alcohol will fill that role.
But even with what just happened within the last 3 years, you do see a kind of divide in our society between people who were kind of larger victims of what happened 3 years ago and people who used it as a larger wake-up call to take care of their health and start exercising and start to actually take everything seriously, since there is a war on your health. For the first time in a long time, life expectancy in the United States has gone down. It will continue to go down. One of our guests said something that I found very kind of important for everyone to realize, and he says, we are going to be facing a huge, severe wave of illness and death, but it's not going to be from what the establishment thinks it's going to be. It's going to be from what the establishment did to you within those last 3 years, that are going to compound, that are going to build, and that are truly going to kind of be in fruition in the future. And people's health is just absolutely dog crap, and it's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah, I'm going to try to be algorithmically correct here, but just the last couple days, seeing people actively defend that guy.
Yeah.
It's gotten me to the point where I don't want to be around them. I see them as an existential threat to my well-being and the well-being of my loved ones. Not even that they can't acknowledge what happened, let alone an apology. But now you're going to actively defend the situation. This is not it. They're the type of people that would be pointing to the attic saying she's up there.
Maybe they're bots. Maybe they're not even real people. If you look at the likes and dislikes on the official Dr. Fauci documentary, huge, massive dislikes. If you look at the overall response from the general public, they're like, this guy's like Dr. Mengele.
He really is.
This guy's literally running human experimentation in the worst, most evilest ways on the general public without their consent, lying to them every step of the way, and creating huge, massive amount of human suffering. I think the majority of the public realizes that.
What he did to the dogs alone, Luke.
Yeah, the beagles. The guy doesn't like dogs.
He had them like they stuck their heads of the beagles in these boxes and then put bot flies in there to eat their
Sandflies,
faces.
I believe.
Sandflies
Yeah,
to eat.
not before severing their vocal cords so that the people didn't have to hear their cries.
It's freaking crazy, man. Animal experimentation, and humans are animals. Keep that in mind.
$700 million they gave that guy.